Joachim, why are you issuing threats?
Our lives are threatened already.
Okay.
And the law of survival is that whenever you see a threat in life, you have to rise up and become even a bigger threat than that threat that is threatening your life.
And I think you know what you're doing.
Yes, I
You
understand
know
the
the kind of
risks.
risk you're putting yourself into.
Yes, but for the betterment of the country and for a better life for our Kenyan people, someone has to put their life on the line. Someone has to. And I have voluntarily chosen to become that sacrificial lamb that pushes for the right things. The
And,
freedoms that we are enjoying today, the environment of us airing out our issues. Some people put their lives on the line.
and what's motivating you to put your life in line?
I have always been pro good governance since I was a young person. My teachers in school can tell you that you could not punish me for something I have not done. And I have been this person who identifies what is wrong and comes and talks about it. It doesn't matter who has done it. It doesn't matter what are the risks involved.
You stand for the truth.
I stand for the truth.
Okay.
And this is a moment that I have seen someone has to stand in the gap. The people who have been speaking on our behalf, some of them have grown old, some of them have changed their mind, and nature abhors vacuum, and nature has chosen me to fill that vacuum.
Okay, because a video is going around
Yes.
whereby you are issuing threats to our members of parliament that
Yes.
you people are going to occupy their houses. Come Saba Saba.
It's not actually about Saba Saba. I don't know why they are so afraid. It's after Saba Saba. Saba Saba tomorrow, we will be still pushing the button of good governance in the country. But after Saba Saba, the next program
Okay.
is occupying their homes. We know where they live.
You have the intel.
They cannot hide because we are everywhere. We are their watchmen. We are their maids. We are their gate people. So they can run as fast as they can.
Okay, so what
But
necessarily are you guys after?
we are going there to make them feel the weight of the economy on our shoulders. And we are going to ask for the very basic things. Food.
Like what?
Food, to be precise. And therefore, we want an individual member of parliament to feel the weight of feeding 1,000 people every day. That will compel them to go to parliament and do things that we sent them to do. Pass bills that create a favorable environment where someone doesn't have to go to a member of parliament's house to feed themselves. Because they have created an environment where it becomes even difficult for an ordinary Kenyan to manage their day-to-day lives. They have created an economic environment that is producing street families, an economic environment that is producing school dropouts because people cannot manage school fees. They have created an environment of producing unemployed youth because there is no employment for the young people. They have made it difficult for people to even access medical care. And therefore, we are going to take all these problems they have created to their doorsteps. They see the work of their hands. If they like it, it's okay. But if they don't like it, it's a wake-up call for them to change.
Okay.
So if they do not want people occupying their houses, it is not to hold press releases the way I've seen some of them do. It is to ask themselves, why are the people motivated
Yeah.
to come? I'm just one ordinary Kenyan citizen saying that I think we should occupy the houses of members of parliament.
Yeah. In
And
order to get
actually,
what you guys want.
Kenyans agreed with me.
Yeah.
So I am not a problem. They are. Why they should ask themselves, why? I didn't pay them. I didn't pay people. Some of the people that are agreeing with me, I've never met them. And they actually agree with me that members of parliament, they are sleeping on the job.
Yeah.
They have agreed to work for the president instead of the people.
Yeah.
Therefore, we the people We remind them that all powers belongs to the people.
That brings me to my next question.
Yes.
Who is funding the protests?
Do you need to be funded to know that we have something wrong with the education?
Because the other day we saw a video going
Yes.
around that the goons were claiming that they have been paid hiyo ni jeshi ya Sakaja
Yes.
to be specific.
Yes.
And maswali zenye tuko nazo kwa akili, is it that the government itself is funding the goons?
Goons, yes. Goons are a product of the government. Actually, goons are behaving exactly like our government.
Okay.
Goons are stealing. Goons are killing. Goons are
Assaulting.
destroying people, property. That is the behavior of the government. Gen Zs on the other side are protesting. So that alone tells you who is for government and who is for the people. We as ordinary Kenyans and Gen Zs who are protesting, we don't need any funding. Because do you need to be funded to know that there are no jobs in this country?
Not really, but you guys need to be facilitated for. Like the masks, the water. Okay, it has to come from somewhere, you know.
A mask costs 10 shillings.
Okay, in bulk.
If one Kenyan decides that I will buy 10 masks for my 10 friends, then the other one buys 10 bottles of water for their 10 friends, then another Kenyan, then another one. Kenyans are taking this thing upon themselves to pressurize the government to work for them. There is no single individual anywhere who is funding protests.
Okay.
Kwani, how wealthy is that person to fund the whole country?
Because the other day it was like the Gen Z is a movement,
Yes,
you know.
yes.
So they need to be having a head.
The
There
government
must be
itself,
someone leading them.
the government itself is the one funding us. The government forces you to come out of your house even if you don't have anything. So even that mask, like the last protests, I didn't even have a mask because I couldn't afford one. So if I was being funded, you can see I am here.
So you didn't have a mask because you didn't afford to buy a mask. Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So, like people who are funded, you can see even their lifestyles. You can see where we are. People who are funded, we could be somewhere else. I could be working here with bodyguards. But I'm just an ordinary Kenyan.
Okay. What do you call yourself? Are you an activist? Are you a Gen Z leader or?
I can't call myself a Gen Z leader because Gen Zs have not chosen me to be their leader. But I'm just a concerned Kenyan, a person who is a political commentator, a governance advisory person. That, as I started by saying, I cannot also call myself an activist. But I'm just pro good governance. If this country was working good, imagine you couldn't be seeing me say these things.
And what can you say about our opposition party? Because they are the ones who are supposed to be keeping this government on toes. And right now, we don't have a voice.
People
on the opposition
lost.
side.
People lost their faith in almost everyone.
Okay.
The current opposition flag bearers today, they were in government just the other day. And the things they are fighting, they are claiming to be fighting today, they were there when these things were being perpetrated. So to some extent, people can think the opposition is also not being genuine. They are just there to take advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
But again, I can say we need them because for us to send William Ruto home, we need all hands on deck.
Yeah.
We don't care who is helping us. Even if Osama bin Laden came from the grave and offered to help us take William Ruto home, we will welcome him on board.
Okay.
So those who are having skepticism of the opposition. I understand their position, but we need them.
Okay.
A friend of our enemy will always be our friend. An enemy of our friend. How do we say it? An enemy to your enemy is your friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So Gashagwa and all that team, we will need them to send William Ruto home. We will pick one of the people to be the flag bearer, and we have him. Tumemficha kama bangi kwa sasa.
Huwezi tuambia?
I can tell you.
Please do. Tuambie tukae tukijua ni nani
I think,
potential candidates.
I think because we have identified the problem. We have identified the problem and said the problem with this country is the economy. Everything you are saying, the police brutality, the disappearances, abductions, are happening because the president and his government have failed to take care of one problem.
Yeah.
And that problem is handling the economy of the country. So a young lady like you, who is frustrated with life, will come to the streets to express your frustration. And so if we take care of the economy system, then you will not have a reason to come to the streets.
Yeah, true.
So the president that we are bringing is the president that has the know-how and the willingness of dealing with the economy of the country and bringing him back to normalcy.
Okay.
And that president, niwaambie ama
Tuambie tafadhali.
Wakenya wajue president yao ni nani.
Ndio hiyo sasa, mapema. Because mapema ndio best.
The president that we are going to choose, let me running mate tutachagua baadaye.
The president ni nani?
The president ni JW, Jimmy Wanjigi.
Well, okay. Sina la kusema hapo.
At least you have the privilege of knowing who is your next president.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Sawa. And maybe unaweza tuambia tukimalizia. Do you not fear for your life?
Of late,
Of
I am starting to feel like people are peeping through their windows whenever I pass. Nikisimama hivi nasikia ni kama
lazima.
Yes.
Huwezi peana onyo hiyo design alafu.
You know, I am talking about people who have a very prickly ego and people who feel they are untouchables and they see me as someone who is not even qualified to talk about it.
Yeah, true.
So they could be tempted to do things that are not so good. And so as a normal human being like every other person,
Let's just
sometimes I feel it's not going to be, you feel like someone is closing in on you. But we will not relent. We will keep pushing. They can kill the messenger, but the message will always be there.
Okay, so maybe your last remarks. What do you guys need the government to do in order for you guys to stop protesting?
Let them listen to Kenyans, work for them.
Okay.
Yes. Listen to what they want and do exactly that.
And maybe you can name some of the things that you guys need as Kenyans.
As Kenyans, we want to work in our own country, not to be sold into foreign slavery in the Middle East. We want an education system that produces people who are ready for markets. We want a country that supports innovation, a country that has an environment that supports businesses, a country where you can be proud being part of that country. We want leadership to be respected again because the current crop of leaders, they have really lowered the value of political leadership in this country. Therefore, the government must listen and do exactly that. But again, up to where we are right now, some of the people in this government have run out of time.
Yeah.
And the only option they have is to go so that we get someone else.
Okay.
Because I believe that for us to start working the right direction, the first step is to get William Ruto out of that office. Yes, that's the only way.
So maybe you can speak to the people of Kenya as we close.
Kesho ni Sabasaba, majamaa tutokee in large numbers. I will be in the streets. Let us make our voices heard. Let us remind the government that they are there to work for us.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.